Are you feeling stuck, like you're constantly treading water, never quite making progress towards the life you want? If so, you're not alone. Many of us carry burdens that weigh us down, preventing us from reaching our full potential. But here's the good news: you have the power to change that. By eliminating just a few key things from your life, you can open yourself up to a world of possibilities, happiness, and growth. The first thing you need to address is toxic relationships. These are the connections in your life that leave you feeling drained, stressed, or unhappy. They might involve people who constantly criticize, manipulate, or disrespect your boundaries. Perhaps you have a friend who always puts you down, a partner who makes you feel insecure, or a family member who doesn't value your opinions. These relationships, no matter how long-standing or close they may seem, are holding you back. Toxic relationships act like emotional vampires, sucking away your energy and leaving you feeling depleted. They can erode your self-esteem, increase your anxiety, and even contribute to physical health problems. And it's important to remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, support you, and make you feel good about yourself. Letting go of toxic relationships can be difficult, especially if they involve people you've known for a long time or feel obligated to. However, it's crucial to prioritize your own well-being. Start by setting clear boundaries with these individuals. Limit your interactions with them, or in some cases, it may be necessary to distance yourself entirely. Remember, it's not selfish to put your own mental and emotional health first. If you're struggling to let go of toxic relationships, don't hesitate to seek support. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or counselor. They can provide guidance, encouragement, and a safe space to process your emotions. Once you've addressed the toxic relationships in your life, it's time to turn your attention inward and tackle the issue of negative self-talk. This is the voice inside your head that constantly criticizes, doubts, and puts you down. It might tell you that you're not good enough, you'll never succeed, or you always mess things up. Negative self-talk is incredibly damaging. It can sabotage your efforts, undermine your confidence, and keep you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. It's like having a bully living rent-free in your mind, constantly chipping away at your self-worth. The first step to overcoming negative self-talk is to become aware of it. Start paying attention to the thoughts that run through your head, especially when you're facing challenges or setbacks. Once you recognize these negative patterns, you can begin to challenge them. One effective technique is to counter negative thoughts with positive affirmations. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," try replacing it with, "I am capable and worthy." Another approach is to reframe your thoughts in a more positive light. Instead of saying, "I always mess things up," try saying, "I'm still learning and growing." If negative self-talk is deeply ingrained, it may be helpful to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors can teach you cognitive behavioral techniques to identify and change negative thought patterns. They can also help you develop coping mechanisms for dealing with self-doubt and building self-esteem. Now that you've taken steps to cultivate a positive inner voice and surround yourself with supportive relationships, it's time to tackle another common burden: clutter. This doesn't just refer to the physical clutter in your home, although that's certainly part of it. It also encompasses the digital clutter on your devices, the overflowing to-do lists, and the mental clutter of unfinished projects and lingering tasks. Clutter in all its forms can be incredibly distracting and overwhelming. It creates a sense of chaos and disorder, making it difficult to focus and think clearly. A cluttered environment can also contribute to stress and anxiety, leaving you feeling constantly on edge. Physical clutter, such as piles of papers, overflowing drawers, and unorganized closets, can make your home feel more like a storage unit than a sanctuary. It can make it difficult to relax and unwind, as you're constantly surrounded by visual reminders of unfinished business. Digital clutter, such as overflowing inboxes, countless unread notifications, and endless files scattered across your devices, can be equally overwhelming. It can make it difficult to prioritize tasks, stay on top of your work, and even enjoy your leisure time. The good news is that you can take back control of your environment and your mind by decluttering. Start by tackling one area at a time. Go through your belongings and get rid of anything you no longer use, need, or love. Organize your remaining possessions in a way that makes sense to you so you can easily find what you need when you need it. When it comes to digital clutter, unsubscribe from emails you never read, delete unnecessary files, and organize your remaining documents into folders. Consider setting aside specific times each day to check your email and respond to messages, rather than constantly checking your inbox throughout the day. Decluttering is an ongoing process, so don't feel like you have to do it all at once. Make a habit of regularly decluttering your physical and digital spaces so you can maintain a sense of order and clarity. The next thing you need to eliminate from your life is unrealistic expectations. These are the overly high standards you set for yourself or others that inevitably lead to disappointment and frustration. They might involve striving for perfection, comparing yourself to others, or expecting instant results. Unrealistic expectations are a recipe for unhappiness. They set you up for failure, create unnecessary stress, and prevent you from appreciating your accomplishments. When you're constantly chasing an unattainable ideal, you're never able to fully enjoy the present moment. Perfectionism, for example, is a common form of unrealistic expectation. It's the belief that everything you do must be flawless, that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. This kind of thinking can paralyze you with fear, preventing you from taking action or trying new things. And comparing yourself to others is another trap that can lead to unrealistic expectations. It's easy to get caught up in the highlight reel of social media, where everyone seems to be living a perfect life. But remember, you're only seeing a carefully curated snapshot of their reality. Everyone struggles, makes mistakes, and faces challenges. Expecting instant results is another unrealistic expectation that can lead to disappointment. Most worthwhile goals take time and effort to achieve. If you're not seeing immediate progress, it doesn't mean you're failing. It simply means you need to be patient and persistent. The key to overcoming unrealistic expectations is to cultivate self-compassion. Accept that you're human and that you're going to make mistakes. Learn to celebrate your successes, no matter how small they may seem, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Having addressed unrealistic expectations, let's now turn our attention to another common obstacle that holds many of us back: procrastination. This is the habit of delaying tasks, often due to fear, feeling overwhelmed, or simply not wanting to do something. We all procrastinate from time to time, but when it becomes a chronic pattern, it can wreak havoc on our lives. Procrastination can lead to missed deadlines, missed opportunities, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress. It can make you feel like you're constantly playing catch-up, never quite able to get ahead. It can also lead to feelings of guilt and shame as you berate yourself for not being more productive. The reasons for procrastination are varied. Sometimes we procrastinate because we're afraid of failing. We put off tasks because we're worried we won't do them well, or that we'll be judged for our efforts. Other times we procrastinate because we feel overwhelmed by the task at hand. It seems so big and daunting that we don't even know where to start. And sometimes we simply don't want to do the task, so we find ways to distract ourselves and avoid it. Regardless of the reason, the consequences of procrastination are always the same: stress, anxiety, and a sense of underachievement. If you want to break free from this cycle, you need to start by identifying your procrastination triggers. What are the tasks you tend to put off? And when do you usually procrastinate? Once you understand your patterns, you can start to develop strategies for overcoming them. One effective strategy is to break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. This can make them seem less daunting and more approachable. Set deadlines for yourself and reward yourself for completing each step. This can help you stay motivated and on track. Another helpful tip is to create a distraction-free environment. Turn off your phone, close your email, and find a quiet place where you can focus. If you're struggling to get started, try the 2-minute rule. Commit to working on the task for just 2 minutes. Once you get started, you may find it easier to keep going. If you're a chronic procrastinator, don't be afraid to seek help. There are therapists and coaches who specialize in helping people overcome procrastination. They can teach you techniques for managing your time, prioritizing tasks, and staying motivated. Now let's shift our focus to another hurdle that can hinder our progress in life: the fear of failure. This is the deep-seated belief that we're not good enough, that we'll never succeed, or that our efforts will be met with criticism and rejection. Fear of failure is a powerful emotion that can hold us back from taking risks, trying new things, and pursuing our dreams. It can keep us stuck in our comfort zones, afraid to step out and explore the unknown. It can also lead to self-sabotage as we subconsciously undermine our own efforts in order to avoid the pain of failure. The consequences of fear of failure are far-reaching. It can prevent us from reaching our full potential, limit our career opportunities, and damage our relationships. It can also lead to anxiety, depression, and a general sense of dissatisfaction with life. Overcoming fear of failure is not easy, but it is possible. The first step is to acknowledge that fear is a natural part of the human experience. Everyone feels afraid from time to time. It's what you do with that fear that matters. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, try to reframe it as a challenge. View failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. Remember, even the most successful people have experienced setbacks and failures along the way. It's how they responded to those failures that made all the difference. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Instead of fixating on the possibility of failure, concentrate on the steps you need to take to achieve your goals. Break down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, and celebrate each victory along the way. Don't be afraid to seek support. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or coach. They can provide encouragement, guidance, and a safe space to process your fears. Now that we've discussed the fear of failure, it's time to address another aspect of our lives that can hold us captive: the past. Whether it's past mistakes, regrets, hurts, or simply the longing for days gone by, clinging to the past can prevent us from fully accepting the present and building a brighter future. Holding on to the past is like carrying around a heavy backpack filled with emotional baggage. It weighs you down, slows you down, and prevents you from moving forward with ease and grace. When you're constantly replaying old hurts or reliving past mistakes, you're robbing yourself of the joy and potential that exists in the present moment. Dwelling on past regrets can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and self-blame. It can also create a sense of stagnation as you become fixated on what could have been rather than focusing on what can be. Similarly, holding on to past hurts can breed resentment, anger, and bitterness, poisoning your relationships and preventing you from forming healthy connections. Of course, it's important to acknowledge and learn from our past experiences. Reflecting on our mistakes can help us make better choices in the future. However, there's a difference between healthy reflection and unhealthy rumination. When you find yourself constantly dwelling on the past, it's time to take action and let go. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing from past hurts. This doesn't mean condoning the actions of others or forgetting what happened. It simply means releasing the anger and resentment that are holding you captive. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Letting go of the past also means letting go of the idea that you can change it. No matter how much you wish you could go back and do things differently, the past is unchangeable. The only thing you have control over is the present moment. By focusing on the here and now, you can create a future that is aligned with your values and goals. If you're struggling to let go of the past, consider seeking professional help. Therapists and counselors can teach you techniques for processing your emotions, forgiving yourself and others, and moving forward with your life. The final thing we need to eliminate from our lives is the idea of limitations. This is the belief that we're not capable of achieving our dreams, that we're not worthy of success, or that our circumstances are insurmountable. These limitations can be self-imposed based on past experiences or negative self-talk, or they can be imposed by others who doubt our abilities or underestimate our potential. The truth is, we are all capable of far more than we often believe. We have within us the potential for greatness, for creativity, for love, and for joy. But when we allow limitations to define us, we shrink our possibilities and limit our horizons. Think of limitations as invisible walls that we've built around ourselves. These walls may have been constructed for good reasons, to protect us from pain or disappointment, but over time they can become prisons, trapping us in a life that feels small and unfulfilling. Breaking down these walls requires courage, determination, and a willingness to challenge our own beliefs. It means stepping outside of our comfort zones, taking risks, and accepting the unknown. It means believing in ourselves even when others doubt us. Start by identifying the limitations that are holding you back. Are you afraid of failure? Do you believe you're not smart enough or talented enough? Are you convinced that your circumstances are too difficult to overcome? Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, you can start to challenge them. Look for evidence that contradicts your beliefs. Have you ever succeeded at something despite your doubts? Have you ever surprised yourself with your own abilities? Remember, your past does not define your future. Just because you've struggled in the past doesn't mean you can't succeed in the future. Surround yourself with positive influences. Spend time with people who believe in you and your dreams. Avoid those who try to tear you down or discourage you. Read inspiring books, listen to motivational podcasts, and seek out mentors who can guide you on your journey. Remember, the only limits that truly exist are the ones we impose on ourselves. By breaking free from these self-imposed limitations, we can unlock our full potential and create a life that is rich, meaningful, and fulfilling. You've already taken significant steps towards a more fulfilling life by addressing toxic relationships, negative self-talk, clutter, unrealistic expectations, procrastination, and the fear of failure. Now let's bring it all together and talk about how you can truly unlock your potential and create a life that you love. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. There will be ups and downs along the way, but don't get discouraged. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your victories, and learn from your setbacks. As you continue on this journey, keep in mind that you are not alone. There are countless resources available to support you, from books and articles to therapists and coaches. Don't be afraid to reach out for help when you need it. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's also important to remember that you are worthy of happiness and success. You deserve to live a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and joyful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. As you let go of the things that are holding you back, you'll create space for new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences. You'll discover hidden talents, untapped potential, and a renewed sense of purpose. And so, what are you waiting for? Start today. Take the first step towards a brighter future by eliminating one of the burdens we've discussed, whether it's a toxic relationship, negative self-talk, clutter, unrealistic expectations, procrastination, fear of failure, or the weight of the past. Take that first step and watch as your life begins to transform. Remember, you are the author of your own story. You have the power to create the life you want. So go out there and make it happen. The world is waiting for you. Now that we've discussed the fear of failure and the importance of letting go of the past, let's talk about another burden that many of us carry, the weight of comparison. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. We see their highlight reels on social media, their successes at work, their seemingly perfect relationships, and we can't help but wonder why our lives don't measure up. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief of joy. It robs us of our happiness, our self-confidence, and our ability to appreciate our own unique journey. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we focus on our perceived shortcomings and overlook our strengths. We become so fixated on what we lack that we forget to be grateful for what we have. Comparison is also a breeding ground for unrealistic expectations. We start to believe that we should be achieving the same things as others, at the same pace, in the same way. We forget that everyone's journey is different and that there's no one-size-fits-all path to success or happiness. The key to overcoming the comparison trap is to focus on your own journey. Celebrate your own successes, no matter how small they may seem. Recognize your own unique talents and strengths. Set goals that are meaningful to you, and don't worry about how they compare to anyone else's. Remember, you are not in competition with anyone else. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. By focusing on your own growth and development, you can cultivate a sense of self-worth that is not dependent on external validation. Another way to combat comparison is to practice gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. This could be anything from a warm cup of coffee in the morning to a supportive friend who always has your back. By focusing on the positive, you can shift your mindset away from comparison and towards appreciation. Remember that social media is not real life. People tend to present a curated version of themselves online, highlighting their successes and downplaying their struggles. Don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. By letting go of comparison, you'll free yourself from the constant pressure to measure up to others. You'll be able to focus on your own journey, appreciate your own unique strengths, and create a life that is truly fulfilling. Now let's talk about another habit that can hold us back. Settling for less than we deserve. This can manifest in various areas of our lives, from our careers to our relationships to our personal goals. We may settle for a job that doesn't fulfill us, a relationship that doesn't make us happy, or a lifestyle that doesn't align with our values. Settling for less can stem from a lack of self-worth or a fear of rejection. We may believe that we're not good enough to deserve more, or we may be afraid of taking risks in case we fail. We may also settle because it's easier and more comfortable than striving for something better. But here's the thing, settling for less robs us of our potential and prevents us from living a truly fulfilling life. When we settle, we compromise our happiness, our dreams, and our well-being. We end up feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and resentful. The first step to overcoming the habit of settling is to recognize your worth. You are valuable, you are capable, and you deserve to be happy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Once you've acknowledged your worth, start setting higher standards for yourself. Don't settle for a job that doesn't challenge you or a relationship that doesn't bring you joy. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want and deserve. It's also important to be willing to take risks. Stepping outside of your comfort zone can be scary, but it's often necessary for growth and change. Don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Remember, you are not defined by your past choices or your current circumstances. You have the power to create a new future for yourself. By refusing to settle for less, you can open yourself up to a world of possibilities and create a life that is truly fulfilling. Let's explore another aspect of life where we often sell ourselves short, our health and well-being. It's easy to prioritize work, responsibilities, and the needs of others while neglecting our own physical and mental health. We may convince ourselves that we're too busy to exercise, eat healthy, or get enough sleep. We may even ignore warning signs of stress, burnout, or illness, hoping they'll simply disappear. However, neglecting our health is like driving a car without ever changing the oil or checking the tires. Eventually, it's going to break down. Our bodies and minds need regular maintenance and care in order to function optimally. When we neglect them, we're not only jeopardizing our long-term health, but we're also hindering our ability to live a fulfilling life in the present. Prioritizing your health and well-being isn't selfish, it's essential. It's about recognizing that you deserve to feel good, to have energy, to be healthy, and to enjoy life to the fullest. It's about investing in yourself so you can be the best version of yourself for yourself and for those you care about. Start by making small, sustainable changes to your daily routine. Incorporate physical activity into your day, even if it's just a short walk or a few stretches. Focus on eating nutritious foods that nourish your body and mind. Prioritize sleep, aiming for 7-8 hours of quality rest each night. And don't forget to schedule regular checkups with your doctor to ensure your physical health is on track. Mental well-being is just as important as physical health. Make time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Practice stress management techniques like meditation, deep breathing exercises, or spending time in nature. If you're struggling with anxiety, depression, or other mental health challenges, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Remember, taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. By prioritizing your health and well-being, you'll not only improve your quality of life, but you'll also be better equipped to handle challenges. Pursue your goals and enjoy all that life has to offer. Now let's talk about the final thing you need to eliminate from your life: negativity. This includes negative people, negative news, and negative self-talk. Negativity is like a poison that seeps into your mind and soul, draining you of energy, joy, and hope. It can distort your perception of reality, making you see everything through a dark and gloomy lens. Negative people can be particularly toxic. They may constantly complain, criticize, or gossip. They may try to bring you down or discourage you from pursuing your dreams. Spending time with negative people can leave you feeling drained, pessimistic, and discouraged. Negative news can also have a significant impact on your well-being. While it's important to stay informed about current events, constantly exposing yourself to negative news stories can create a sense of fear, anxiety, and helplessness. It's important to limit your exposure to negative news and focus on positive and uplifting stories. As we've discussed earlier, negative self-talk is a major contributor to unhappiness and low self-esteem. When you constantly criticize yourself, doubt your abilities, or focus on your shortcomings, you're essentially poisoning your own mind. It's crucial to challenge these negative thoughts and replace them with positive affirmations and self-compassion. The good news is that you have the power to control the negativity in your life. Start by limiting your contact with negative people. Surround yourself with positive, supportive individuals who lift you up and encourage you to be your best self. Limit your exposure to negative news. Choose reputable news sources that provide balanced and informative reporting. Avoid sensationalist headlines and clickbait articles that are designed to evoke fear and outrage. Cultivate a positive mindset. Practice gratitude, focus on your strengths, and celebrate your successes. Challenge negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Remember, your thoughts have power. Choose to focus on the positive, and you'll create a more positive reality for yourself. Having explored the importance of prioritizing our health and well-being and eliminating negativity, let's now turn our attention to another aspect of our lives that can significantly impact our happiness: the pursuit of external validation. This is the tendency to seek approval, recognition, or affirmation from others in order to feel good about ourselves. While it's natural to want to be liked and respected by others, relying on external validation for our self-worth can be a slippery slope. It can lead to a constant need for approval, a fear of rejection, and a feeling of emptiness when we don't receive the validation we crave. It can also make us vulnerable to manipulation and control by others who may use our need for approval to their advantage. When we seek external validation, we give away our power. We become dependent on others to tell us who we are, what we're worth, and whether we're good enough. We forget that true validation comes from within. It comes from recognizing our own strengths, accepting our imperfections, and loving ourselves unconditionally. One way to break free from the need for external validation is to cultivate self-love and self-acceptance. This means treating yourself with kindness and compassion, acknowledging your own worth, and celebrating your unique qualities. It also means setting boundaries with others and not allowing their opinions to dictate your self-worth. Another way to overcome the need for external validation is to focus on your own values and goals. What is important to you? What do you want to achieve in life? When you have a clear sense of purpose, you're less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others. You're also more likely to take action towards your goals, regardless of whether or not you receive external approval. Remember, your worth is not determined by your likes, followers, or the number of compliments you receive. Your worth is inherent. It comes from simply being you. Let's talk about the importance of accepting change. Change is a natural part of life. It's inevitable and unavoidable. But for many of us, change is also scary and uncomfortable. We may resist change because we're afraid of the unknown, we're attached to the familiar, or we simply don't want to disrupt our routines. Resisting change can hold us back from growth, new experiences, and new opportunities. When we cling to the past or try to maintain the status quo, we miss out on the chance to evolve, learn, and discover new aspects of ourselves. Accepting change doesn't mean you have to love every change that comes your way. It simply means being open to the possibility of change, adapting to new circumstances, and learning to find the positive in every situation. One way to accept change is to cultivate a growth mindset. This means believing that you can learn and grow from your experiences, even the challenging ones. It means seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Another way to accept change is to focus on the present moment. When you're fully present, you're less likely to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. You're more able to adapt to change as it comes and find the positive in every situation. And remember, change is not always easy, but it is always an opportunity for growth. By accepting change, you can open yourself up to new possibilities and create a life that is constantly evolving and expanding.